because I cannot have an introduction of everybody here, I'm just taking as an all, you all put on your camera, just say hi to you. Okay. When we know who
Arey,
all are attending and you have signed in, we can have a criteria for introduction. But more or less, I think all of you have already started the course, right?
Yes, sir.
Very nice. Okay, so let us just ask some random questions so I know the ballpark where you all are. Okay. First question, let's hear it from Ansh. Ansh, two questions for you. Why did you take this course? And what is the one question in your head, okay, that you would like me to answer today? Hmm.
okay, so I think the quality, the what the thing you are teaching is the really good subjects.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, this is the real thing which is gonna useful in our industries.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish to get enough knowledge of that so that I can use my productive skill and advance my skills in qualitative checks and logistics, supply chain management, all other things.
Okay, good.
And
And
and can I repeat you? Hello?
so I said, why did you take this course? Okay. And the second question was, what is the one question that you would like me to answer in today's session? Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So basically, as my question, will this course really help me to get some job or maybe some acquire companies so that this course will have enough, uh, you know,
Hmm.
enough knowledge to boost my skill or enhance my knowledge? Is there?
Okay. To be really frank, I am the other kind of a person. When I say other kind of a person is I like to ensure that you are a master of your trade. Okay. What happens in life is it's generic to all of you. Okay, you can listen to the same thing. It applies to all of us. You know, if you're employed right now, that doesn't mean that you'll remain employed in the future. So, what is this criteria that can keep you employed in the future is the one question that you should always answer. For businesses, we call it competitiveness. If you're competitive today, it's quite unlikely you will be out of business tomorrow. Okay. If you're in business tomorrow, then only you earn money. Okay. Now, what is that? How is it that you're going to be, is going to help you in your job? Not to get a job. Okay. Because get a job doesn't need only criteria, qualification. Qualification is one of the necessary conditions. I hope you are very clear in your mindset about necessary condition and other qualifying criterias. Okay. Uh, it is not that you have taken part in the race 10 times that this time you should be given a gold medal. Okay. To win the gold medal, you have to defeat everybody else. So what happens is to win the gold medal, one of the necessary criteria is taking part in the race. Or in other words, you should qualify for the race. Okay. So what I'm hearing from a mindset is a condition which existed sometime before. Okay. Where the world did not change. Everything remained constant. So if somebody showed me a certificate, we assume that he's capable of doing a job. Today, it is not so. Okay. So if you take this course, it will open an understanding for you to do your job better. That's it. Okay. You do your job better, I think you'll be happy because employment doesn't guarantee happiness. Okay. That's one. This is what I meant. I'm the other type of a person. Okay. Uh, it is everybody has different capabilities, everybody has different destinies. Okay. But you should be ready, capable of answering very fundamental questions to keep a job. Okay. Otherwise, it's a very good course to start from. Okay. I think today in my first opening, I've got some few slides to tell you the background. Okay, the fundamentals on which the courses are designed. Okay. So I'll take some time to explain, and I hope I can tell you exactly what to get inside. Yes. Anybody else? Let's hear Ankush. Ankush.
Yes, sir. So actually, I am very familiar with your learning, sir, because I have earlier attended your ZSSR and the Lean Necessary training courses. The insights you explain very beautifully and very logically. So that
Okay.
is really help in our current job as well as to understand the concept of the learning.
Okay. Good. So
Yeah.
I when did you do your Z training programs?
That in 2023, sir, and the Lean
23.
Necessary, I
Okay.
think 1 or 2 months back, 1 month back.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I can place you. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Let's hear Rama Gowda. He wanted to say
Good
something.
afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. You can put on your.
Myself, Baramangoda, I am working professional. Actually, I am having around 25 years experience.
Okay.
So I wanted to upgrade my knowledge to the industry level and to move forward to the next level.
Acha.
So I wanted to refresh my knowledge and continue my journey.
Okay. So 25 years in what type of a industry?
So I'm basically worked in the mechanical industry. So mainly assembling of capital equipment machines.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good. Nice. Nice example. Capital uh, equipment manufacturers. So
Yes,
I hope, I don't know whether this course is there or not, but you should always remember that discrete, repetitive manufacturing, okay, with a steady demand and capital goods, okay. Based on this, you set up the whole manufacturing process,
yes,
okay, and then you use various tools like APQP, etc., to standardize the process. Welcome.
yes.
Any particular thing you want to learn, or you only want to refresh?
When we are this one, I course I last week I went through our week one this one
Uh-huh.
uh, uh, syllabus. So I came to know whenever we are starting any industry, so
Uh-huh.
what are the things to be checked before going to this one, any industry opening or any
Okay.
product we are manufacturing.
Okay.
So I am thinking to open my own this one business in within 5 years of time. So
Okay.
I started.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. So understand uh, maybe the first two slides you should understand. Okay.
Yes.
That is the foundation. Okay. So I have in my slide put the structure of manufacturing. Okay.
Okay, sir. Definitely I
So
will
that is because if it's a screw nut bolt, you don't know where to put it. You know what screw does. So it is good to have the whole picture where you can put the nut and bolt the right place. That is why the structure is important. Okay, good. Let us hear anybody else. You can unmute. Sorry, you can first put on your camera so that I know you are interested, and then I'll ask you. Yes, Jerin David Verghese.
Hi, sir. The one of the reason that I thought of joining the course was I started looking into APQP portion. I took a course in Udemy. The
Yeah.
challenge was it was really hard to implement in the company. Also, one of the challenge we are facing is, and I wanted to do it based on a checklist and just trying
Hmm.
to implement it. It's faced a lot of resistance. I
Hmm.
thought this course will be an opportunity to maybe get some feedback on how do we learn more about maybe implementing certain strategies, which will really help implementing APQP in the organization.
First of all, welcome to the course, and second of all, get some clarifications in your uh, thinking. There are three levels, okay, of any planning. Okay, when we do any planning, which is beyond 1.5 years and beyond, that means 1 year, 2 year, 3 year points. Okay, it is called strategic planning. Okay, between 3 months to 1.5 years is called tactical planning. Hmm? 0 to 3 months is called scheduling. Okay, so we are not actually interested in such tools or in operations and execution to do strategic planning. Okay, All you can do is tactical. Tactical means, okay, the method. What? The method. It is your mindset and your ideologies that select the method. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So APQP is that method. Don't ever confuse it implementing a strategy. Never ever do that. You will always be confused because the moment you say strategy, it is like infinity to your head. Intangible. Don't. Okay. So remember that we are talking about a method. Okay. Why this method? What is the objective of this method? I think I'll discuss today briefly. Welcome to the session. Yes, let's look at Kumar Kunal. Yes, sir.
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Uh, I'm a master black belt from ISI Delhi. I had already worked on these things in Flipkart and
Okay.
so there we had worked, but we were not having such principle or was we don't know. Okay, so I just think there is related to this. I think about this move to understand it will help me.
Your voice isn't very clear in the sense it is breaking off. So what I've picked up is you've already worked in Flipkart on this thing, okay, and you're a master black belt, okay.
From
So I just request you to stay away from your hardware devices unless you start practicing black belt on it. Joke. It's a joke. Okay. So tell me just in one question, in one request that why do you want to attend this program for?
With the advanced product quality planning is this is a one topic. So we were working in we were having a huge number of products, which was a the market. So we have some strategy for that one. But I don't know if we were working, it was correct or not. In future, also I believe that with other product, with other services, I have to face this problem. So I think what from you.
Okay. Okay, I think I can get it. See, today it may not be possible to answer your question, all of them, okay? But I'm happy you've come here. I will set the base today right, okay? I will set the base today right.
Yes.
So understand that there is a very in the Western mindset, it is the responsibility of the student to learn him themselves. Clear? Student to learn. It is not the responsibility of the teacher to ensure the understanding is born. So all these standardized processes like APQP and everything, which all of us find very systematic. Okay, we think they are the knowledge themselves. No, they are not the knowledge itself. Knowledge is created by answering the question why, and these standardized processes tell you how to. Okay, how to. So achievement of quality cannot happen by using this process. Getting it? It is to once you have decided how the quality is going to be achieved, how to achieve it consistently is the purpose of all these tools. Okay, but welcome, Kunal. Rahul, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, thanks for having me here. But yeah, this course is being conducted and I'm able to join. Thanks for this opportunity. And yeah, I have a question. So firstly, yeah, I'm also a working professional. I work in the automotive industry in Germany. And I work in the concept development or the product creation process for an automotive company, mainly in chassis. So the main reason why I wanted to take this course is I want to get the big picture. I do have situations where I interact with quality, but I do not know where things falls in place in this entire product development process, supply chain. I want to get this big picture. That's why I joined this course. And secondly, it would also be good if you can address how will APQP change or will be changed with data due to data and AI in the future. How is it influenced? This is one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll answer it in one of my slides. I've already got what there, but remember something that uh, you are dealing with generative AI, not thinking AI. Just because it's been termed as artificial intelligence, okay, that doesn't mean it has cognitive capability. Is that clear in your head? That
Yeah,
artificial
of
intelligence,
course.
artificial intelligence is branding. It is not the capability of the software.
Yeah.
Okay. So what it can maximum do, okay, is keep learning so quickly from the past, right? So any new situation that arises, artificial intelligence cannot handle. That's why I use the word called cognitive. So how is data going to help? That is a very simple answer that I think I will be. But please remember that you guys are asking very generic questions, okay? And if I'm not able to answer it today, okay, I'm there again next week, next to next week, and we will carry it on. And you make a note, okay? You make a note that, sir, I think this was lacking and I need some more question on this because it's not easy for you to give all the requirement in one shot. Okay. So let me understand from Rahul. Rahul, let me be very frank. You have studied in India and working in Germany, or you have
I
learned?
studied in Germany. I did my master's degree here in mechanical engineering, and
Uh,
then I started working here.
okay.
I'm working in Germany since about six and a half years now.
Okay.
Worked
So,
in,
so
yeah,
one more. You did masters there. The bachelor's you did in India.
yes, yeah.
Okay, good. That's good enough. That's good enough for me to know because I know the kind of conflict you would face. At least you're lucky that you did masters there. Because you see, in Germany or in Holland, Germany is slightly better than Holland, or UK. UK, there's nothing engineering left anymore there. So, uh, what happens is Germans frame the problem statement in a way which will lead to the correct action. Okay. So remember what they are doing. They do not want a faulty diagnosis. Watch my word, okay?
I know what you mean.
So, so now what is happening is a faulty diagnosis. In India, we assume the diagnosis. Okay, so we start with the diagnosis. This incapability to diagnose properly in the Indian education system is our undoing. Okay, is our undoing. That's it. You correct this, you are set. You don't need to be taught in everything. You just need to correct the way you think, and you are okay. So a thinking process should have been the basis of most of the subjects that we were taught. Okay. And the second problem with the with our fundamentals is we don't even know whether these fundamentals are still valid or not. Okay. Because what happens is they're fundamentals. As we gain more experience, they change. Okay. If you're not able to predict in which direction they should change, your learning is not happening. Okay. Hmm. So I hope we can do that. These are for Rahul. It is a very simple, structured method, APQP. Okay. And it is structured in such a way that you do not forget anything. In other words, it is a checklist. Okay. So checklist doesn't tell you how you're going to do. Checklist says, have you done this? Then you should know how to do that activity. Clear? And that is where the capability comes in. Welcome to the session. Nice to have you. And beautiful that you're going to add a new perspective to the stuff. Anybody from Japan here? Anybody from Japan here? Okay. So it would have added another perspective to the whole session. Okay, because the essential difference between a German and a Japanese is this. You give a problem to the German, he'll solve it. Okay? You give a problem to the Japanese, he will never allow it to come again. Okay? Now both these are two different levels of capabilities. Okay? And this is the whole tussle that you are seeing today in the market, that no Japanese company will like to work with a German supplier. People call it a trade barrier. It is not a trade barrier. Okay, they just don't understand each other, and they have a totally different method of solving the same problem. And if this method is not in line with the whole system, okay, it will not work. And that is why the Japanese reject the Germans. Okay. Anyway, good perspective added. Yes, let's hear Subhash, and then we'll go to Puneet, and then I think we will start with a small presentation of mine. Okay. Yes,
Oh,
Subhash.
can I ask a little bit question, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know what, like me, there are many people like who is currently pursuing college degree,
Hmm.
bachelor's degree, and they want to, they want to like decide something in future which is gonna enhance their skill. Like me, I have done my master's in supply chain materials management, and now currently I'm in fourth year of my college from Delhi University. So I really want to
Which
do some
which
research
which
degree on
college
that.
which college in Delhi University?
It's College of Vocational Studies, CVS,
CVS.
from Chirag,
So
Delhi.
I don't want to discourage you, but please understand that all the guys who come out with supply chain, everything, they only come out by logistics management, and they call themselves supply chain management. Hmm.
I know, yeah. They're
Ah,
more about the logistics and all.
bus. Okay. And the moment you've added supply chain and materials management, you have the course itself is not properly defined. Always understand the materials management comes before, then comes supply chain management above it. Supply chain management is the strategic angle of the whole thing, okay, which is making the material move through the system. Okay, just like I think opening somebody's, who used this word called strategic. Somebody used the word strategic, and I told you. Okay, so
Hmm.
supply chain management is how to ensure that the future capabilities are enhanced, and
Hmm.
materials management is the execution of that capability in the short run. Okay,
Got it.
and synchronizing is called scheduling, which is called logistics. So anyway, ठीक है, it's okay. Welcome to it.
Yeah.
No problems. And
Thank you so
ठीक है
much.
यार. Let me tell you that when this course was designed, okay, it is part of another course that if you want to do, people like Anshu and all want to take, they should go and take that course called manufacturing competitiveness. Okay, you take that course and you will see and still the foundation, huh? So you will see that the foundation has been laid out, huh? And you do that course, and if you pass, okay, you do that course, I can guarantee you that you have nearly 70% of the capability of any world-class supply chain inside you. 70%. The rest 30% is the thinking process, which is not there. Anyway, that we'll try.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Next person. I had asked Subhash.
Subhash.
Subhash, please speak.
Yes,
Huh?
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm working professional. I'm taking care of quality department in manufacturing industry.
Hmm.
Uh, Previously, I did not taken any APQP. So I came here to learn what is APQP, what are the steps is there, what are the process need to do. Yes, sir.
Okay, welcome to the course. One question so the company you're working for, they didn't want to introduce you to APQP. They didn't want to teach you APQP, or they just said, learn it yourself.
Yes, sir. Not like that. We are manufacturing as precision components. We are manufacturing, and we are the exporters. We are doing exports to USA, UK, like that. We only doing PPAP documentations only. But
Yes.
APQP, there is no idea for me. For our industry
Okay.
also, there is no
Okay.
APQP.
So there is the whole concept is called APQP. Okay. That means
Yes,
when we start from taking an order, getting the design.
yes,
Okay. After we have got the development part out, PPAP comes inside. How do you start the logistics part and getting inside the supply chain? Starting. Okay. So the whole concept is APQP. One part of APQP is PPAP.
yes,
Clear? Okay,
yes,
that's it. So it's good. Now, why am I asking is for everybody else also to hear what he just said. Sometimes it happens that a person within a company doesn't have access to a place where he can clarify his doubts. Okay, which is called education or knowledge creation. He is working, he is exporting, he knows what PPAP is, he's filling all those forms. Okay, because he is audited by the data. Okay, and if the forms are not properly filled, he will not be allowed to export. So he's doing it, he's doing his job. But there is a need inside for him to have a discussion to understand sometimes why. If he understands why, he can find a better solution. If it doesn't understand why, he cannot find a better solution to the problem. Okay, that is why you come and join these courses also. Okay, welcome Subhash. Okay, and I hope you at least see uh, there are two ways of teaching, right? This is called lecturing. Hmm. The other is workshop, and the other is called a group discussion. Okay,
okay,
and
yeah,
more than that is actually doing an internship or doing a project, right? These are all methods of teaching.
yes, sir.
Unfortunately, this program doesn't allow me to do the other three. Okay. So we can have discussions and things like that here and question and answers. Okay, and then go ahead. Okay, welcome. Let's listen to Puneet.
Hello,
Yes,
good
Puneet.
morning, everyone.
Uh,
Uh, I am currently working in medical devices company.
uh-huh.
I hold a master's degree in material science and technology.
Oh,
The
wow.
reason,
Uh,
the
Good.
reason that I wanted to opt for this course was in bits and pieces. I work in few projects that requires MSA or maybe analyzing process capability. So
Mhm.
I don't have an overall picture how this would impact. And plus, uh, currently what I was doing is doing an MSA for an
Mhm.
instrument. So
Mhm.
in that, this criteria are majorly for automobile industries. So
Mhm.
I wanted to configure how this can be extended to medical industries and
Mhm.
what can be interchangeable with a
Mhm.
proper justification of it.
Okay, good. Very nice. See, I would really appreciate most of you to be in this mode. Okay, what is mode of Puneet? He has been doing certain activities which in terminology we call let us say MSA. Okay, a set of activities called MSA. Okay, and then we move on to understanding and then adapting. Okay, chalo. I think there's a hint enough that we have to start with the interactive session. Prapti, over to you. Okay, start.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
Uh, so I think first of all, I think we'll start with the formal script.
yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Prapti, and I work at the Quality Council of India. And I would like to welcome you all to today's live session on advanced product quality planning. Um, First of all, I'd like to begin with the objective of the training. I mean, as Ashish sir has, through his discussions, already set the ground, set the objective. However, just a small brief on what the course is about. Um, a manufacturing organization constantly looks for new customers, and when it comes to acquiring a new business, there's a risk of failure which may not be so severe that one may fall down. The failure that means that every now and then either the processes or quality suffers or the customer expectations are not fully met. Well established supply chain owners, for example, automobile companies, have a reputation and a product quality which is well established. If a new if a new company seeks to get into manufacturing and has
Prapti,
yes
we have
sir
lost your PPT.
uh sure, so I shall present it after this, sir. We are just heading into the slides. So just I was
Okay,
giving a brief on the
ठीक है. Okay, go
course.
ahead.
Yes, sir. If a company seeks to get into manufacturing or has been manufacturing and wants to enter the supply chain, it will have to make sure that the stability, reliability, and efficiency of the supply chain is not impacted. To make sure that such disturbance is replaced by smooth functioning of the supply chain, the companies go through a process which is called Advanced Product Quality Planning. In this course, learners will be acquainted with the meaning of APQP, its goal, background, compliance, and its four phases and five major activities. It also includes concepts such as quality function deployment, which discusses the processes of quality function deployment, tools for designing new products, and improving new products and processes. Now, I shall begin by introducing the organization Quality Council of India and our subject matter expert. Uh, so, I hope my presentation is visible to all.
Yeah,
So,
it's
is this
visible.
is
Yes,
visible?
yes.
Okay, sure. Sir. So the Quality Council of India is a national accreditation body, and it was formed in Jan 1997 in association with ASSOCHAM and FICCI. QCI is an independent autonomous body under DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and our mission is to create an ecosystem for quality. QCI has had a rich leading history with Dr. Ratan Tata as our first chairman and our current chairman being Mr. Jakshay Shah. The organization ensures accreditation in various fields through its boards such as NABCB, NABL, NABH, NABIT, and it also ensures quality promotion through NBQP. We also have special project groups such as PPID, Z, PAD, and our policy unit. QCI is currently being led by our chairperson, Sri Jakshay Shah, and our Secretary General, Sri Chakravarti T. Kannan. Now, I would like to introduce NABIT very briefly. The National Accreditation Board for Education and Training is a constituent board of QCI, an autonomous non-profit organization under DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. In line with the motto of QCI, creating an ecosystem for quality, NABIT oversees quality assurance within the education and environment ecosystems. It does through four of its verticals, namely the Formal Education Excellence Division, Environment and Exploration Division, Higher Education Research Analysis Capacity Building Division, Skills Training and Service Division, and the Training and Capacity Building Division. So, five divisions. QCI has hosted many courses on the SWAYAM platform, which have been vetted by the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, which, as you know, is the national coordinator for quality management studies. The courses that we have shared over the years are continuous quality improvement, tools and techniques, manufacturing competitiveness, total productive maintenance, advanced product quality planning, production part approval process, and introduction to project management principles and practices. Now, I would like to formally introduce our subject matter expert. Uh, Mr. Shishir Bharadwaj is an operations management consultant who began his career at a Japanese JV manufacturing light commercial trucks, working in product development, testing, and marketing, where he gained first hand insight into customer experience. He pursued business studies in the UK and initially focused on finite capacity scheduling and ERP implementation. He now specializes in enhancing manufacturing competitiveness and profitability through flow principles and the theory of constraints. He is also associated with QCI as master trainer for Z maturity model and has also developed the APQP course with us. So that is all from my end, sir. Now I think we can hand over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prapti, for making my casual style look so formal. Okay, and yeah, it's always nice, when people like Prapti are there, they set a structure. Otherwise, I have to be contained within a boundary. I can take off anywhere. Okay, thank you so much, Prapti, those kind words,
Thank
and
you,
I
sir.
hope you all have got a flavor of what the intent is. Okay, so the intent is to ensure that we are able to make these courses accessible to as many people as possible. Okay, and also The second aspect is to keep them with a different point of view. You see, the understanding is developed when you are able to examine a subject from various points of view. Before this examining, the subject is called knowledge. Okay. In this courses, I will take you through 7 to 8 slides so that a few of the anxiety part or the marketing part or the fundamental part is set right. Okay. In this in this set of slides, okay, I will tell you how the course is intended to do, and then I'll take you through a few aspects of how to look at manufacturing as a system. Okay, and these are very brief overviews. Okay, so let me begin. uh, okay, so this is just somebody let me know if you are able to see uh, this PPT. Okay, is it visible to all?
Yes, sir, it's
Yes,
visible.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
It's already done. I think the best person to get in touch is Prapti or the person handling the course. Okay, but uh,
Yes, sir, you can. Yes, sir, you can raise all your queries to me, and I'll convey
yeah,
the same to Shishi, sir.
yes. Okay,
Also,
please.
just before we start, so I just
Huh.
wanted to announce that this session is a weekly session. We have 6 weeks, as everyone is aware, in the APQP course, and Shishi sir will be joining us every week. And so, just please bring in your queries, and
Yeah.
we're really glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you. Okay, good. So let's begin with understanding of somebody's fear of data and artificial intelligence. Okay, this is something. Always remember something that when you start with calling something very good, you should keep in mind why have you called it very good. And as the time passes, you should be able to check against what you predicted and what you are getting. This helps you bridge the gap. And this bridging the gap is where the learning happens. Okay. So long ago, even before there was a threat of AI and things like that, okay, this is what I think Daniel Pink wrote in the whole new mind. Left hemisphere of the brain is logical, linear, and sequential. It works like a computer. The right side is holistic, artistic, and big picture. Of course, we use both sides of our brain for most things, but the sort of abilities, characteristics of the left hemisphere are becoming less valuable. Right? You begin first with understanding which part of the brain is this work asking you to focus on. Okay, and you should be able to automate the linear, logical, and sequential part. Now, if this is the understanding, then the new competencies will have to be worked upon. What is this competency? The ability to think in terms of systems and knowing how to lead systems. Remember, today we are living in a VUCA world, or complex systems are the ones that are in play. And there are certain behaviors of complex systems. In complex systems, lateness accrues, early finish does not. In complex systems, there is an disproportionate impact of an event. That means a 10 rupee bolt, okay, can cause a 10 lakh vehicle to crash, or a $250 bolt can cause a 250 million aircraft to crash. Okay, this complex systems, okay, have need to be understood, and you are not going to be efficient at doing a job, but you have to be good at handling the system. Okay, second, the ability to understand the variability of work in planning and problem solving. These are the competencies that you need. In fact, they were predicted some 15, 16 years ago. Understanding people and why they behave as they do. So at this point, I was talking to Rahul and I said, "Okay, why do they find a different solution?" And I mentioned the Japanese and the Germans. Okay. Fourth, understanding the interaction and interdependence between systems, variability, learning, and human behavior, knowing how each affects the other. It is this fourth part, okay, where you see most of these systems, okay, they move away from formulas, okay, they say, "Okay, how do you control them?" And then they say that how will a human being behave? Okay, so most of the modern day solutions or systems or tools are a composite collection of all these three aspects: human, variability, and systems. Mr. Cole long ago said that, listen, the knowledge is what is going to make you behave. And he gave what is called a learning theory. And my first reaction was, is there a theory of learning? So, David Cole said, learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through transformation of experience. We had a small round of introductions. I would like all of you to apply this concept to all the things that people mentioned. So if there is a student, what level of knowledge can he create? If there is somebody who's working, like for example, I keep forgetting the name, but the person who mentioned that I work in medical devices. Okay. Now he is creating a knowledge, and this knowledge, okay, has to be created for him to take a decisive action. The process that creates this knowledge is called learning. So, Mr. Kolb, now what you're hearing is a Dutch behavior, okay, not a German behavior. Dutch behavior is baal ki khal nikalna, but it really helps us understand our learning style, okay, and how to understand or master any subject. So he said that learning happens on two continuums. The horizontal continuum in blue is called the processing continuum, and the vertical continuum is called perception continuum. On one end of the perception continuum is concrete experience. Now, watch it. Please don't interpret feeling as the Indian feeling. Okay, it is called touch and feel. Okay, the Indian feeling is to do with emotions. Okay, touch and feel, concrete experience. Okay, in concrete experience, you have to do things to understand whether your hand or elbow should be in line or you can bend at a wrist to get the best tightening. Things like this, concrete experience. The other end of this is called abstract conceptualization. For people who sit in Germany, they call it mental experiment. You should have the capability of conducting a mental experiment. Okay. On the horizontal processing continuum, there are two extremes. One is called reflective observation. That means you can watch. Okay. And the other is called active experimentation. You're doing it. Okay. What Mr. Kolb is saying is that your learning is transformed or a knowledge is created for you when you go through all these four distinct stages. Okay, and on the four red boxes you will see is called the learning style. Hmm? Most of the times you will see yourself not being able to grasp a subject because the course has not been designed for your learning style. So you can begin with a learning style, but as you keep going through all of it, the learning will happen. You can begin. Learning styles is begin from here. But that style, still you have to go through all the four stages that we've talked about.
Sir,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. So I think some of the participants cannot see the screen.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Some participants had raised a query in the chat.
okay.
So if you
Uh,
can reshare your screen
I
and
will start again.
yes,
There,
sir.
please, somebody who's not able to see, you can unmute yourself and tell me exactly what happened. Where did you miss my slide and things like that? Yes. Ashish Ranjan, were you not able to see my slide? Okay. Prapti, just let me know, okay, whether you are able to see this.
Sir, I can see the screen from my end. It's visible from my end.
Okay. For those, can you please retype?
Yeah, it's also visible from our end.
Okay. ठीक है. Okay. So I'll just start. So what is happening is, there is no theory of growth.
ठीक है.
How do you grow or how do you do things better? Okay. But if you replace this growth by learning, and if you have a learning theory, it is quite likely you can maintain your growth. Clear? There's no formula for growth, right? There is no theory of growth. And that is why we anchor everything in theory of learning. Okay? Let me simplify it for you. If learning theory sounds good enough for you, let me simplify it for you. We call it a learning wheel. It begins with a question, and as soon as there's a question, there's a theory. It is called theoretical answer. You have to test this theory for yourself. When you test this theory for yourself, after that comes reflection. This reflection should create another question in your mind. And rotating this wheel is called learning. Clear? With one rider. Learning happens within a person whose question it is. Okay? This is the rules of engagement in my most of my training programs. Okay? I can begin with a question or begin with something that you do not know, and that's why that interaction in the first half is so important for me to set the way I will answer those questions, the way I will throw the theory at you. Okay? The reason I throw the theory at you is because now you have so many places where you can go and look at the right word, understand, and adapt. Adapt would be test it for yourself. While testing, okay, you will be able to ask many questions because there's a shortfall between the objective and what you have achieved. Okay. Now, removal of this shortfall or undesirable effect, okay, is the next question, and this is how learning happens. Okay. This has been taken as a big learning cycle anywhere in this world. It is easy sometimes to say you can use a negative connotation to get to the objective better. Okay, so here is one example. Like, it's very tough to define happiness because the moment you say what is happiness, people start talking about types of happiness. And I think it was the same problem with Mr. Buddha or Mr. Gautam Buddha or Bhagwan Gautam Buddha. Okay, uh, so he defined happiness as absence of dukh. And after that, what he had to do was to define dukh, which was more tangible. Similarly, I'm using this negative connotation saying what learning is not. Learning is not knowing the answers. That is called mastermind at its best. Rote learning at its most boring and conditioned response at its most basic. This does not help you change or to grow. It does not move the wheel. Learning is not the same as study, nor the same as training. It is bigger than both. It is a cast of mind, a habit of life, a way of thinking about things, a way of growing, and is not measured by exams, which usually test the theory stage, but only by a growing experience, an experience understood and tested that a learning happens. And learning is not automatic. It requires energy. It's easy to give up on it and to relax and to rest on one's experience. But then that is exactly means you're not growing. And remember, a lot of people who have done something will maximum come to the test stage, okay, and stop. And these are the people who keep telling you it doesn't work like this, it doesn't work, and nothing happens. People are not practicing properly. This. No, you should be able to understand why this is not happening and move further. In fact, most of the people in India whom we call good and learned sit on the first stage only or the second stage called the theory stage. And first, learning is not only for intellectuals who will often shine at the thinking stage, but are incurious and unadventurous and therefore add little to their experience as they go through life. And learning is not finding out what others know already, but solving our own problems for our own purposes by questioning, thinking, and testing until the solution is a new part of our life. Whatever tools and techniques you learn, my suggestion is apply this wheel of learning inside it. You will be asking the right questions and you'll be able to ensure that you're able to not only improve the process, okay, but exactly find better methods because you know why. Know why is the driving criteria, know how is not the driving criteria. We have been talking about performances that you do this it goes up, you do this goes up. And if we sort of plot all of that improvement on a time and performance scale, the curve will look like this. How many of you would have seen a curve like this being plotted? It is not easy. But even if you talk about continuous improvement, okay, a simple thing of continuous improvement, a 2% or 4% continuous improvement month on month or year on year will make the curve exponential. But what we often see is called diminishing rate of return curve. An improvement happens once, twice, and then we maintain the system at that level. Why? Remember that improvement and application or even a solution, all of them are called change. And the systems are not designed for flux. They are designed for stability. This rider I'm giving here only and only because the moment you standardize anything, you stop growing. Okay? Standards don't improve quality. So PPAP could be a standard or a process, and you need to make something sit on it, okay, to ensure that that is able to modify and improve this process. Okay? So the place at which this curve starts plateauing is a measure of the current level of knowledge an organization has. Okay? The rider. So before the curve starts plateauing, you should be able to develop a further knowledge, and instead of it going flat green, it should go again vertical for some time and then again tend to flatten. Because the intent of all of us is continuous improvement and betterment and etc., which looks more like a red curve. But remember, it's an unstable curve. Solution is also a change. And if people don't have good understanding, knowledge of that solution, they will resist the change. This is the conflict we are dealing with. I said that it is very important for us to understand manufacturing. And when I say understand, means you have examined the idea from every direction and you have come to conclusion why something is the way it is. If you haven't done it, okay, you are falling short. Clear? You're falling short of the expectations. I did say that I will sort of build the perspective that how one should view as manufacturing. And this manufacturing view is much of the Japanese view, okay, than the Western view. Now, understand something that most of these guys, even in Europe, have done a lot of improvement based on the Japanese mindset, but they have kept the character same. their same, because no company, no country can progress if they just transplant a system. All the management systems should be aligned to the culture of the company, of the environment, sorry, culture of the place where they work. There's nothing called culture of a company. Okay. So you will see very often that people think of manufacturing as a linear sequential way. And it is here that they forget to separate what the Japanese call operation from the process. You will see here that the operation is moving horizontal. That means when a person is using an equipment or a machine, okay, that's called an operation. But as the material is flowing, okay, it is transforming itself or it is moving, that's called a process. It is this selection of process, in other words, the methods, okay, that differentiate one company from the another. Okay. And I hope all of you know very clearly the first law of manufacturing, okay, which says that all the benefits will accrue in direct proportion to the rate of flow of material and information. So it is this flow of material through the system, okay, which is the competitive advantage to a company. Okay. So the good way of looking at manufacturing is how the material flows, which is called the process, and what a machine is working on each item is called the operation. In other words, very simple way to look at it is like this: how an order or an item is flowing through the system. That means this particular order on which machine, on which date, and what operation will be performed on this, called the process. The other way of operation is you look at a machine, what item it is processing or which order it's processing in which in a sequence. These two are the two bases of full interaction. And hence, if you look at manufacturing in this way, you will be so comfortable in understanding what we need to do. Okay, so manufacturing is considered as a network of process and operations. No, no, sorry, process and operation, not operations. Process and operation. What is a process? What is an operation? Process, the course by which a material is transformed into product. This consists of four phenomena: processing, inspection, transport, and storage. Okay, you will see that in PPAP, okay, these are the four phenomena that are now being said. How are you measuring it? How are you documenting it? And what is the technique to reduce the variability or the variation? Okay. Operation, the actions performed on the material by machine and workers. Okay. Now, you can have a good operations control. Operation control. Most of the companies are hell bent upon focusing on this statistical process control. Okay. R&R, Six Sigma. Okay. But if the same Six Sigma is applied to the process part, okay, now this would have created a huge wonder. Again, what I'm telling you is the thinking difference, okay, between, let's say, the Japanese method and the rest of the world method. Rest of the world method thinks everything as disconnected from each other. Okay. And for every aspect, there is a tool and technique. The Japanese think differently. They think the companies as a whole, okay, to do any particular job, okay, or any phenomena, okay, what tools and techniques we have. And this makes their process to work in sync much better than our processes. When I say our processes, please refer to it as Indian processes. At every interface, you will see that there is a information being transferred. And our operations, if you're able to transfer this information by eyeball control, okay, you have achieved the highest rate of flow of information and you are most productive. I'm giving you the ultimate level that you have to take your process and operations to. Okay. Now let's go one level up. The three functions of management. That means in a plant, okay, in a plant, you should be able to do all these three functions. Now, please understand that this is not called designation. Okay, they're functions. If these three functions are done correct in a plant, the plant is working. Okay. First is called planning, the second is called control, and the third is called inspection. In the Western part of the management system, this control part is left to an individual's training. But in Eastern part, whether it is any East Asian country, controls, okay, are also developed within the system. That means you should know how to execute it. And I think I keep forgetting the person's name, but he says that I know PPAP, okay, but I want to know APQP because there are certain quality issues. There is a question which he's not able to frame in his mind, okay, but what he's seeing is that that PPAP part is a part of control, okay, to execute the whole process of selecting and going online. So what entails planning? Establishes the system and objectives. Extremely important. What level of quality you have to deliver? How are you going to deliver? What are the issues that you will check because you've already got the critical to quality aspects inside? Okay. All this is set, okay, at the planning stage. And this could go right up to plant layout, process lines, standard operations. This is called planning. Second is called control. Now, when you start the control part, it executes the plan correctly, right? What is the plan? To get this supplier online. Okay. How do we know what he should know, what he should do, and how should he react if a deviation happens? Okay. This is called controlling. And only this control can execute the planning part properly. And third is called inspection. Compares execution to plan so that one or the other can be corrected or adjusted if necessary. Watch the word one or the other. So what an improvement will look like is like this. There's plan one, planning has to have a control part of it and execution. The inspection will check the outcome and see whether the planning was capable or the control was not right. This planning and control separation is the unique part of continuous improvement. Okay. Planning and control in most of the systems are taken as one part called do. Okay. But within that, there are clear aspects, and you should recognize it within any system. But it's good to separate it because then you know what tools you have to develop for control and what tools you have to develop for planning. And after that inspection, you will go to planning two. You can see that planning two is at a higher level than planning one. So improvement doesn't mean holding the process constant, or we call status quo. Okay. All of us sitting here, I can guarantee, have a bias when I ask them what is improvement, they will say that the system is working. If I don't do this check, sir, the product would have gone wrong. No, sir, that's called correction. That means the system is supposed to work like this and you're not making it work like that. An improvement means taking the system output to a higher level. Remember these two, this way of thinking. So what do we do? Okay, we do what we call is standardize the work. Okay, and it is this standardization that you're seeing in PPAP or APQP. Okay, what is standardizing? To standardize a method is to choose out of many methods the best one and use it. What is the best way to do a thing is the question. It is the sum of all good ways we have discovered up to the present. It is therefore becomes the standard. Today's standardization is the necessary foundation on which tomorrow's improvement will be based. If you think of standardization as the best we know today, but which is to be improved tomorrow, you get somewhere. But if you think of standards as confining, then progress stops. Remember in the beginning,
sorry to interrupt. Can
yes,
I
sir?
ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask.
As you mentioned that we should not standardize. So you are talking about continuous improvement of the manufacturing process here, or the continuous improvement somewhere during the process itself?
Hold it. Let me clarify what I've understood your question. You're telling me that we are not asking about standardization. Huh?
Yeah.
No. Understand again what I was saying by two levels, or I was reading out standardization. I'm saying that standardization, okay, if you standardize, it is not called an improvement. It is holding the system steady or holding the status quo. Okay, this standardization then becomes the base on which to improve the process. So if you're talking about an improvement bent of mind or continuous improvement bent of mind, okay, you will not hold the system core, you will improve the system itself. Okay, is your question answered or not?
I'm a bit confused, like the continuous improvement should happen of the whole process itself. That what we are going to see today, like APQP. Are we going to
Okay,
improve the?
hold it. Let me clarify with you now. What do you understand by a process? What do you understand by a process?
So making something, uh, making a requirement to work,
No.
maintaining
Shall I
the
answer?
quality.
Wait. Let him finish. Yes. No, Manish, it is not. That is why I'm taking this point out to explain very clearly that understand, okay, the difference between methods, difference between technique, okay, difference between operation and also process. Okay, these processes and tools and techniques have become a throwaway term. They use it everywhere. Okay, so you need to be sure that you're first defining the system boundary, okay, and then a set of steps, measurements, and let's say actions and reviews that will complete thing is called a process. So first remember that we standardize so that everybody is working at the current level of knowledge. Clear? Okay. Now, what is continuous improvement? A higher level of goal to be achieved. What? A higher level of goal to be achieved. So once you've standardized, you've brought everybody to that standard. Then comes the improvement. Once you again improve, then you bring everybody else to that standard. Is that clear? What I was reading out was this. Okay, that if you standardize it today, okay, use this as a foundation for future growth, means a higher level goal. Yes, Dharma, you were trying to say something. Barama.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the process, what are the activities we are carrying in our routine, that is calling as a process. This is my understanding.
Oh, you, I think The best way and simplest way of looking at process and operation is what I just showed you, two dimensions. Okay?
Okay.
A process will have a collection of many activities for
Yes.
a purpose. Many.
Okay. Yes.
Okay? And operation or activities is how are you going to do that step. Clear?
Okay. Clear. Yes.
Hmm?
Clear.
If
No.
this misunderstanding, okay, forget misunderstanding, lack of understanding, okay, is going
Okay.
to force you to use a tool, a wrong tool.
Yes. Correct.
Clear? So
Yes.
I'll repeat. What I'm defining continuous improvement as achieving higher level goals.
Yes.
First, I'm defining standardization as the current level of knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. How is knowledge being created? It is created by transforming and testing the current question with or experience, right? Kolb's learning.
Yes.
Knowledge is created through transformation of experience. So
Yes.
if you have not transformed your experience, okay, you have not created
Yes.
knowledge. If the knowledge is not created, you are holding the system quo or status quo. Okay?
Yes. Correct.
Yes.
Oh.
Puneet, you have a question to ask.
Sir, so I just want to understand this. So let's say I am at 100% of level, 100% can be a unit, and now I am doing an improvement of 2%. So that makes 102. So currently I have improved by 2. Let's say I have standardized this process, and now the new standard would be 102. And now after a few months, I identified that this process has improved, but the surrounding processes has been impacted by this change. So in this case, what shall be done, or when shall we consider to change from 100 to 102 as a standard?
Okay. So I think very nicely said. Let me give you another analogy. Keep that also in mind, then I'll come and explain the thing. Do you know when a car is parked, the headlight throws only 60 meters? But in the same throw of 60 meters, people drive lakhs of kilometers. Right? What we mean to say is when you reach the end of the throw, okay, you will see another 60 meters. Okay? This is called the driving principle. Okay? Now let me come back to you. You have a base. What is base? And very nicely said that I'm not worried about the unit. Just assume 100%. Okay? The current level of output offers scientific knowledge and everything says ki 100% is this. I have changed, improved something, and now the output is 102% by the old measure. Okay? Can you have 102%? No. You can have technically only 100%. How do you move it to 100%? You make the 102 as the standard. Clear? Puneet, you make 102 as the standard. If the output, okay, yes, this is the cycle. So how quickly you use the new standard as the base? Finish. Okay, this is why we are trying to ensure a thing like PPAP ensures how we capture the improvement. And remember something, it is not only called quality improvement, this is the whole improvement where one system, that is a supplier, comes and interacts with the customer. What? Interacts with the customer. So customer system and supplier system at the boundary they interact. So we have to work towards the functioning of this system as a whole. Okay? Don't think of supplier as quality department or materials department or dispatch department. No, sir. Today we are working as the whole system. And this creates the risk This creates so much of risk that variability gets transferred and the chances of making an error goes up because there is no extra cushioning put anywhere. Everything is threadbare. Okay? So what we say is we have to make the connections stronger. Okay? The interfaces have to be strengthened. Okay? Clear? Manish, is your question clarified? Okay, just somebody let me know if you all can see this. Okay.
Sir, will you also talk about continuous improvement opportunities somewhere in your course?
No, yaar, that is a that's a totally different way. But along the way, if there are certain tools and techniques, I'll you can say cross reference it. Okay. Hmm?
Okay.
And mind you,
Okay.
this is an interaction session, huh? It is not a session to teach you the course. The course is already running there, okay? So you have some gap in understanding, or you want to apply it somewhere, you want to discuss whether you have understood it or not, that we are doing here, okay? Huh? But just because the first day I need to set the rules of engagement right, okay? So coming back to standardized work, okay? Remember that this Henry Ford said this in 1926. I'll repeat, I'll read again. To standardize a method, please, all of you will go and do a net search on technology. What is technology? Second, what is a method? What are tools and techniques? So in one question, you will write what is technology? And the second question, you'll write what is the difference between method, tools, and techniques? Okay. This should clarify in your head and be very precise, okay, when you're speaking. And especially people living in Germany. I hope there's a very clear distinction between all of them, okay? Okay. So to standardize a method is to choose out of many methods the best one and use it. What is the necessary condition? You should be capable of doing the same work by three different methods. We call it multiple means to an end. What other way I have referenced it? I have referenced it. It is an ideology, your thinking process that will select the method. The end result is same. Okay. So to standardize a method is to choose out of many methods the best one and use it. What is the best way to do a thing is the question. It is the sum of all good ways you have discovered up to the present. It therefore becomes the standard. Today's standardization is the necessary foundation on which tomorrow's improvement will be made. So immediately today's standardization becomes 100%. If you think of standardization as the best way we know today, but which is to be improved tomorrow, you get somewhere. But if you think of standards as confining, then the process stops. So, if I have to put this in an example, if you have a FSSAI certification, which is called Food Safety Standard, okay, of India, Authority of India certification, that does not mean that your food is tasty. Clear? This is another point of view when I was saying that standardization doesn't mean, okay, you have achieved the quality. Okay. And what do you standardize? You standardize a method or a process. If the meaning of defective goes beyond defective parts to include defective work, the meaning of 100% defect-free product becomes clearer. In other words, insufficient standardization and rationalization create waste, inconsistency, unreasonableness in work procedures and work hours that eventually lead to production of defective products. Okay? Remember what we are trying to do. We are trying to move towards defect free. And what is defect free? It's not only the product, it is also a wrong process, an ineffective method. If you have an ineffective method designed and you keep repeating it again and again and again, okay, it'll never make a defect free process. And this is the difference between PPAP and APQP. APQP does the selection of the method. Is that clear? This selection of method is a resultant of, okay, your knowledge, your accumulation of knowledge, your understanding how you can use the current level of technology, okay, in operation or processing. Okay, let me stop and come back to all of you. Have I stopped it? Yes. Now, let us hear somebody tell me, is zero defect possible? Anybody? Would you like to answer a question? Come on. Anybody unmute yourself and
Yes,
ask?
sir.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yes,
so.
sir. Zero defect is possible.
Who is this? Rahul?
No.
Pritam Satsangi, sir. This is Pritam Satsangi.
Pritam Satsangi. Okay, so, okay, good. Rahul, what? It's not possible?
Yes, I think it's not possible.
Okay, very good. Pritam Satsangi, let's hear. How is it possible to achieve zero defect?
Sir, in a short term, zero defect is possible. In a long term, zero defect may be impossible. But
चलो प्रीतम, आप भी राहुल की तरफ जाया तो राहुल मतलब कि मोक्ष के ज्यादा पास हैं, इम्प्रूवमेंट करते करते पहुंच गए कि सर नहीं हो सकता अब। ठीक है।
sir, नहीं, zero
हाँ,
defect can be achieved, sir. Zero defect
हाँ,
can be achieved.
हाँ,
Like we have a L3 control, Pokayoka, where
हाँ,
if we have a selected, if we have a 5 number of defects, suppose हमारे पास 5 defect आ रहे हैं,
हाँ,
5 defect को हमें zero defect करना है,
हम्म।
तो हमें L3 control वहाँ पे implement करके हमें
Hold.
zero defect is
Please,
possible.
please tell me what is L3 control?
So actually I'm working in a Tata Motors
I got that.
department.
I got
So
that.
we have
हाँ,
a L1, L2, L3 control. L3
हाँ,
control is a Pokayoka control.
हाँ, and what is
L1 is
L2?
a detection control.
हाँ,
L1 is a detection control.
हाँ,
L2 is a inspection and some specific control.
ठीक है, okay,
L2.
got it. हाँ, ठीक है।
But L3 is a error proofing control.
हाँ, so what are
So
you doing in error proofing?
in error proofing, sir, before you discuss about the processes. So, sir, there is a different types of processes, manufacturing processes, assembly processes. Okay, so if there is a error in an assembly process, so there is some Pokayoka can be implemented in an assembly process where the chances of wrong orientation of parts to be
Okay,
controlled in
ठीक
a
है।
assembly
Okay,
fixture.
so Pritam is explaining, okay, what we call the application. Okay, I want
Yes.
all of you to pay very clear attention. What he's saying is there's a concept. When the concept is implemented in a environment, it becomes an application. Clear? So what he's explaining is an application. L1 is this, L2 is this, L3 is this. Okay. Why? Because he's got very clear reference to what he's doing. He is in Tata Motors commercial vehicle. Okay. And so he is following the terminology that the company uses. Okay. But let us be very clear that why have I come and asked you this question here? Because there is a very clear causal relationship, not correlation. Okay. Causal relationship between error and defect. When an error has occurred, the defect will be produced. By this definition, error is always done in the equipment or the material. Okay? If you trap this error, that means if the machine can stop operating when an error has occurred, you have achieved what we call pokayoke, error proofing. This error proofing with 100% inspection. When we go to 100% inspection, okay, we mean that you are now setting in tools, techniques, dyes, and so many methods. The inspection is done, what we call while working only. Okay, both of these two things put together will lead to zero defect. So, for people who think that zero defect is not possible, okay, they need to understand or bring their mind around to what causes a defect. A defect is caused by an error. Where does an error occur? Error occurs in a process. Okay, and the process could be, let's say, the production process and etc. So you trap that error as soon as it occurs. Okay, it will never lead to a defective product being produced. So let me break Preetham Satsangi's thinking and rephrase it like this. If in your company you have defined a standard called L1, L2, L3, basically it's like this. There's something called informative inspection. Okay, then there's something called a flow control, and then there's something called full error trapping. That means it can trap and correct also. Okay, these are the level of automations that you achieve in Pokayoke process. Why am I saying Pokayoke process? Okay, when you take this kind of type of thinking in your APQP, okay, or in your PPAP, okay, you have defined a fail-safe product process. So remember, when you go and take all these courses, courses are how to, right? How to, not why to, how to do. Okay, if in this how to you have used your thinking called error proofing, etc., you will produce a good process. Yes, Rahul, you have a question to ask.
I mean, what I was meaning to say by zero defect is not possible is like in today's scenario in Germany, where there is tremendous cost pressure versus quality. In this sense, if by using advanced inspection systems.
No. Okay, Rahul. Okay, let me give you, if not, okay, if not, the biggest gift, okay, to you with this conflict. Okay, the word is called Shigo Shingo. Okay, like this. Okay, Shigyo Shingo. Okay, one of the greatest industrial engineers. Okay, and you know what he says? He is the father who discovered SMED or invented SMED. Not discovered, invented SMED. Okay, and most of his activities don't actually cost money. So the sexy term that Pritam has used, Pokai, okay, if you go see these devices, na, they are bought in the same money as you buy a bloody beer can. Okay, so all these things are the way of looking at the same process. Okay, they are not expensive at all, and all this has been achieved in 1986.
Yeah, but
Okay, so
but
there is this is why I kept saying that the what we're going to discuss is the frame of mind. Okay,
yeah,
ठीक है, बस.
understood. Yeah, the mindset should be for zero defect. The goal, I understand that. But today, we are receiving parts not from the German suppliers alone, but from Eastern European countries and also other Asian countries. So
right. But let me
yeah.
tell you, Rahul. Okay, uh, I think there are hundreds of experiences like this, and I'm for the rest of the participants, please understand that uh, what Rahul is saying is a problem statement for which APQP and PPAP is developed. Clear? But remember something that everybody's love feels different, but it is basically by definition love only. And why is it that the person says that my love is different? because he's actually experiencing those things himself. And he says it is so unique that the other person cannot have it. It is for these reasons that we say that, listen, let us first standardize the processes. And that is why learning is so important. That, for example, you think that when the first car was exported from Thailand back to Japan, okay, Thailand back to Japan. So the Japanese companies, which already had a high standard, okay, they had a perfect supply base? No. And today's PPAP documents and mindset, which I'm trying to instill, is the source for ensuring that the person understands. The person understands what does zero defect mean. It is not called conforming to a product. Now look at something. You pack something, which the in India we have this problem that we get all packaged food, and to open it, very often the old senior will say, "Yeah, please open it for me." Now, what is the use of giving somebody a bottle which a person cannot open and drink himself? It is defective process. Okay, so these type of thinkings will force you, and most often all these improvements are very, very cost effective, but you need the eye to have a look at it. Hmm. And for you who is interested, look at industrial engineering analysis. Okay, or forget that. Just for you, start with single minute exchange of die by Shigo Shingo. Just go through the book. Okay, and you will realize that how great zero effect can be achieved without much money. Yes. Anybody else? I think all these subjects are so close to my heart that I can talk for days, not hours. Okay. Any other question?
Hello,
Yes.
sir.
Yes. Go ahead. Ask.
Sir, nowadays, the many organization prime goal is not only zero defect, but zero accident is also a prime goal.
May I know your name?
Pritam Satsangi, sir.
अरे प्रीतम सत्संगी यार आप खिचड़ी मत बनाओ. Okay. Please see. Sorry that I'm upfront. Please remember that you know there is absolutely no conflict in what you are saying. Okay. Remember, I'm not talking about the whole company. Okay. I'm talking about APQP. That's why I said khichdi mat banao. Now, why if you're telling me
Okay,
this
sir.
you were telling me this in Japan, I would have hit you so that your brain started working. Okay. That means on the head. Okay. Now, remember that if today you are learning that there has to be zero accident, what is zero accident? Zero accident means that the company has started trying to milk their assets for longer period of time. And the assets a company has are three: material, machine, and manpower.
Hello.
Okay. Okay. If you have to prevent them from getting accidental, that means they're going to last longer. To make them last longer means you are getting a better ROI. Before this, the companies could not set this because their aims and understanding was very less. Okay, so anything and everything that you're talking about starts off from being safe. One example was use of the container. One, it could be design of the vehicle. Okay, so in APQP, when we start and we do, let us say, FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis, what is that work? Okay, that design itself begins with keeping all the understanding of safety, whether it is while use, whether it is used by production, or whether it is while it is stored or transported. Anything and everything gets looked into. ठीक है? तो subject matter में आप मत बनाओ, but the good way of conducting any training program is you isolate the subject matter first.
Okay, sir.
Clear? ठीक है. चलो. Yes. Somebody else wanted to ask a question. Anybody else?
So there are a couple of queries in the chat from one Mr. Tarun Singh Pratap Tej.
Okay. What is the
So, so
question?
yes, so the first question that they have asked is what are the key phases of the APQP process and how do they relate to each other? And the
Okay.
second question is how to determine the scope and boundaries of an APQP project.
Very good. So let us attack it straight. Okay, both these questions. Okay, we will answer. Okay, I'll answer the second one first. Okay, because technically the second one is the fundamental question. Okay. There are two words you'll keep hearing. One is called program and one is called project. Okay. The difference, does anybody know the difference between program management and project management? Or what is a program, what is a project? Okay. So it is Tarun. Okay, I hope you are listening to this. When a program, okay, lasts longer, okay, and consists of many projects. Clear? What would mean is, suppose you are trying to, the simplest example let's take, you're trying to make an aircraft. So the program will be called, for example, 380 program. Within this 380 program, okay, there will be projects. And those projects would be the engine project, the wing project, okay, the central fuselage project, the cockpit project. I hope you get the drift by now. So what is going to be the boundary of a APQP project? Okay, it cannot be called an APQP project. It will be called an APQP for a project. Okay, so this is how the boundaries are selected. Usually boundaries are selected when you select a functional system or a subsystem. Okay, now the way we have structured our supply chain, you will see that lower end components get assembled, sub-assemblies get put into intermediate assemblies, and intermediate assemblies get put into a final assembly. If this is the structure of your supply chain, your APQP product or APQP approach is going to be confined to the component or the sub-assembly that you are making. Okay, so if you look at a final sub-assembly, let's say you want to make the aircraft engine, there can be 3,000 suppliers structured. So layer tier 1 and tier 2. So tier 2 suppliers, okay, will have their own APQPs, okay, which go into tier 1 suppliers, and tier 1 supplier APQP will be going into the final assembly. Clear? So the essential difference you should understand is a program lasts longer. Okay, now why does it last longer? So now you've made a 380 aircraft, you need to now improve the performance of its engine. Now that improvement of performance of an engine is taken out and set up as a project. This improvement of the engine is now going to go through APQP. Clear? Now let me come and talk about the key phases of APQP. The first phase, okay, is what we call the program or the project phase, or defining the reason why you are doing. In project management and program management, we call it what? We call it charter. Why are you doing this project? And what you have to achieve in this project. Okay, this is the main standard. Usually what happens is this comes out from classifying and quantifying the need properly. So you could be doing a APQP for introduction of, let's say, of a new product. The moment you are doing into new product, what will happen? The risk of this project becomes high. So you will be asked to perform, or risk analysis has to be done at a higher level. Okay, this is usually called phase 1. Okay, then everything else is logical. I will come back and do a pictorial representation of it before I close the session. But let me say that this is how you get the charter. Then you what will you do? You'll convert it into your specifications. Okay, this is where tools like quality function deployment are used. What is quality function deployment? What the functionality has to be achieved. How do you convert it into a quality parameter? The functionality is the closing of the door. Okay. Now, what does good closing of the door mean in terms of specification for your door? And there are many or multiple impacts of this functionality. All of them are then converted. So this becomes a very high level objective to be set, and usually done by people with great amount of experience. People who write the charter themselves are people who have got tremendous amount of knowledge, okay, when they set out the needs that have to be met. Similarly, when we come to quality function deployment, it is usually not done by low-end engineers, okay, who know how to make a formula, test the formula, use any software to do failure testing, etc., and decide on the specifications. So quality functional deployment happens in second phase. This is very logical, right? After you have decided, for example, the two companies, let's take Honda and Suzuki, or for that matter, let's take Mercedes and Maruti. Both of them have conceptualized the car for the market, right? If they don't do market segmentation, how do they decide the value proposition? Okay, they have done it, and both have decided the door. Now the specification that comes out of the Mercedes door is going to be much different of the specification that comes out through a Maruti door, right? This quality function deployment is then put into product specifications, which are then tested, okay, by high-end softwares today, which crash the time, and this crashing of time is done when we use a lot of data which is already there from the past. This is where the data and AI come into play. So you have high-end softwares who already have, let us say, the thermal behavior footprint of a particular steel. Okay. Now, when you're doing a testing, and you're doing not physical testing, you're doing on the software testing, such data comes to your help. You'll quickly be able to formalize, freeze everything and say, okay, now the time is to go and do the physical dimensional study. Okay, you've done this. Now, once you've done this, then comes your job of taking it to production and hence on the shop floor, which is taken care by PPAP. Okay, so let me come and use the PPT for some help. And remember something, uh, I hope all of you can do enough robust analysis to find such tools as listed on company sites. Okay, well-known company sites in the world who are the founders of all these tools. Okay, they have these methods and things available. Use them. Okay, because many times when we go for theoretical use, okay, one does not understand the adaptation. So you will find a standard available, then you will find the same thing modified for a company use. So you will learn how to modify it for the company. Okay, which I think somebody was asking that I've used it in medical devices. I'm using it. I make medical devices, but I've seen it being used. I want to see how I can adapt it to the medical devices. Okay, this is what you will learn if you go and hit this website. Okay, so let me just quickly begin and cover the phases so that there is a pictorial understanding. Okay, is this visible to all? Okay.
Yes, so the screen is visible.
Okay, good. So basically what we are trying to instill is plan, do, check, act, which is the more or less very standardized 4-phase process, okay, of continuous improvement. And the downside I have already mentioned, that if you standardized it once, that doesn't mean that you don't have to improve it. And this is why we say that understand that APQP as a document is a living document. Living document means there is so many things happening in real time, okay, that it would force you to update it. Okay, update happens in two parts. One is the structure of the document itself, second is the data within the document. Okay, then there's a particular emphasis should be placed on identifying critical path activities and ensuring those are fully resourced. What are critical path activities? Critical path activities are those activities which cannot be compressed or which will lead to a failure or will have a very huge negative impact on the outcome. Somebody's mic is on. Somebody's mic is on. Hello, somebody's mic is on. Can you uh, Prapti, just mute the person's mic. You can hear his mic alive. Just mute it. Okay. Where has it come from? The automotive industry challenges were naturally you're innovating so much that things are changing so fast. The product is getting very complex. Complex not only in terms of assembly, but in terms of design, development, and failure modes. There's so many things happening. Okay. So this was one of the issues. How do we ensure that when the industry changes or new supply comes or old people go from the company, how does the product still remain performing consistently? The second big challenge was naturally new product development times. Why is this? The new product development time is an indicator of the overall company performance in the sense that if a company can develop the product very quickly, in other words, it is doing it cheaply. So you don't need to wait on huge sales figures to get an ROI. Thirdly, what we managed to do was we have managed to complicate the supply chain. Technically, now we call it supply web. Okay. While these three things are a source of complexity into a product or variability into a product, okay, the customer, because he or she is experiencing and also learning so much, their expectations have become bigger. I find it strange that an indicator of a Mercedes Benz can fail, but my Maruti 800, which is now 35 years, the indicator never fails. Okay, what will I say? I said, what the hell is this? The Germans can't even get the indicator right. Oh, there are sensors inside. The sensor malfunctions more frequently, which is a bigger problem. First, you make me dependent on the sensor, and then sensor doesn't work. How do I work my car? Okay, so the solution was to be formed, and remember that the whole Western world is very heavy on standardizing. If you don't standardize, it is quite unlikely in the Western world you can achieve a lower cost of manufacturing. Why? Because a huge expense happens in these companies because of training. And remember that in this part of the world, training is the responsibility of the employee himself. Contrast this to the Japanese, the organization will train you. Training is a continuous process. Okay. And this is how the standardization happened. And the idea was to ensure that we have this is what, okay, you will see as a map. Okay. So the second question that Tarun has asked is answered here. Okay. Like I said, concept and initiation approval. Okay. Planning. I said very clearly the three aspects of management function: planning, control, and inspection. So when we go into planning, it is again done by the top guys who decide the level of quality that should be done, the market that should be done, the processes that we have to choose, the machinery that is available, etc., etc. This is called planning. Okay. Before the planning finishes, that means you're crystallizing and sending out what has to be done, a program approval has to be got. And I hope I've made it very clear what is the difference between program and project. Under this program, there'll be multiple projects running. Okay. It can happen within a company, which is even making a component. Okay. Which is even making a small component. Let us say you're making a machined shaft. Okay, and welding something at the end of it. As simple as this. Okay, you can have a program and you can have multiple projects running under this. Between the program approval, the next milestone is called prototyping. Okay, then from prototyping to the next point on the continuum or the time scale is called piloting. Okay. And then after launch, we call it that now you are on your own. That means you are getting into the production part. Okay. So what are the four phases? Plan and define the program, product design and development verification, process design and development verification, and then product and process validation. Clear? These are the four phases. Within these four phases, you have activities to be done. Now, what we have managed to do is that in all the four phases, whatever may be the risk, we have identified and we have actually systematized that how would you go around attending to that, and we call it tools. So advanced product quality planning process consists of four phases and five major activities, and has something like more than 20 plus supporting tools. And what are these tools? Design failure mode and effect analysis, production failure mode and effect analysis, critical to quality analysis, and special characteristics, and finally a control plan. Remember the control part? A control part. And also, now that you are running it, monitoring it, executing it, we call it statistical process control, etc., etc. So when we talk about running a APQP or PPAP, there are nearly 17 to 20 basic documents that need to be put into place so that you can go from piloting to production phase. Okay. Or the launch phase in the production phase. There's 17 20 documents. Yes, Rahul, you have a question to ask.
Yes, I have maybe a conceptual confusion also. I do not know. Maybe I try to. Yeah, I try to
Feel
explain.
free.
So, I work for a truck manufacturing company here. So of course the parts supplied to us from the suppliers, they have to fulfill all the APQP requirements. They have to have the APQP process and everything, and also the tier 2 suppliers, tier 3, and so on.
Yes.
But my question is, internally we have a product development process as an OEM. But I do not know is the same APQP applied in the internal product development process, or is APQP only applicable to the suppliers who supply parts to us?
Okay. Oh, so no, the APQP is applied the same way to the OEM who designs the product also. Okay. Now, I briefly mentioned the supply structure, right? Now, this is called tier 1, tier 2, the supply side. But when you look at the whole supply chain, okay, there are three major aspects of supply chain. One is called the supplying of the components. The other is called design and development of the product and assembling the product. And then it's called the distribution, right? These are the three major parts of the supply chain from, you can say, raw material to the consumption. Now, what most of the OEMs have done is they have kept the design, development, warranty, testing, etc., which is the source of the largest amount of intellectual property right with themselves. Okay, they use the supplier, okay, to manufacture the component. And many times, in the case that you have mentioned, you have done the design of it. So the APQP will be done by you. The PPAP part, watch my word, okay? The PPAP part of that you will impose very severely on the supplier. Okay? Now, but for you, you are doing APQP and PPAP both, right? Because you are the technical owner of the whole process, right?
Yeah.
Once and mind you, once you have done the piloting to launch, okay, this part, okay, then you hand it to whom? To regular operations, right? What does the regular operation do? Nothing. I repeat the same bloody standard and okay, time pe nahi aaya, idhar nahi aaya, reject ho gaya, plant dhamaka. That is not your job anymore. If you are a design guy, okay. So I hope you are able to understand the transition from product design and development to product and process validation. There is an overlap.
Yeah,
okay,
understand.
and it is here that you will actually standardize the PPAP document. Okay, and if you are the design guy, it is your job to do it. Okay, Okay.
Thanks.
In fact, the reason why I can be harsh with you is my career also started in truck design. Okay.
Okay.
and my expertise was in doing the whole suspension design of the whole truck. So the whole suspension system and shaft off, all this was my done. Okay. So the moment you say that, you get closer to me, and then uh, all these things will become more critical if you talk about examples. Okay. Take it. Done. So what we managed to do in our example, and here it's very simple. You can see I've just borrowed it from Eaton. So what we do is, what is the input that is required and what is the output of the phase? Clear? What is the input required? What is the output? Now, I think with this, we'll call it a day, and rest all will carry on next day. But let me just give you a hint. So what we are saying is, now you're going to design a project. I give you an example, very simple-ended, open-ended question. You design a mode of transportation that will take me from point A to point B in a hilly terrain. If I just say this, you can design anything. Okay. A donkey will also work. Okay. Then I need to go further. Okay. And detail it out. This is what I mean, that when you're trying to get the input, okay, when we say simple thing, that the voice of the customer, okay, it means that you have to use your past example also, which would mean what? Your historical warranty, quality failures, okay, and how did the problem get communicated? What was the side effect of the problem failure? Okay, so you can incorporate it while designing. So my example is very simple, that I had to improve. First, I had to improve a shaft failure. Post that, I had to design a suspension system for a bigger truck. Okay, and then they said, okay, we can make a bus out of the truck. The moment they told me that it was bus out of a truck, okay, my reading and understanding went in a different direction. Why? Now just imagine going in the hill. What do you see very often? Half the people throwing out, puking, right? So I did enough research to find out that what is this thing that causes this puking? Okay, was it a bloody human behavior? Was it eating, or was it some air quality, density? And then probably there was research done by somebody which says it is the basic frequency of which is called the fundamental harmonic of the suspension system. If you don't get that right, okay, it will cause people to puke. What is puking? Vomiting. It's uncomfortable road. It is not called a good quality car or a good quality bus. So after all of that, I found out how to calculate that fundamental harmonic, and they said if you can keep it between 2 hertz, okay, it will not cause vomiting. Now the the, the catch was that below 2 hertz, okay, okay, at a certain speed in a certain condition. So just imagine if you're climbing a mountain, okay, you'll never be at 100, right? So it is very easy to get the below 2 hertz at 100. You can use dampers and things like that, but not very easy. These were the input conditions. So voice of the customer becomes a very important tool. Then you need to decide that what kind of a volume that you can get out of it. So you can decide the methods, machinery, tools and techniques you can deploy. Okay. Then you should also know a bit about what are the current existing standardized datas, okay, what kind of a reliability studies are there, what kind of a reliability you want to achieve, and naturally, if a customer would have any complaints or discomfort. So remember, converting look and feel of a bus, or sorry, look and feel of a door into the functionalities is the first aspect. What will be the outputs? Design goals. Goals do not mean specifications. First come goals, below goal comes strategic objectives. If those strategic objectives are not properly met, the goals will not be met completely. Below the strategic objective come the tactical objectives. And below the tactical objective come what? The specifications. Clear? So you will get design goals. Okay. Cost of non-conformance targets. What are you saying? Boss, if you don't meet this, this is the problem that we're going to have. So what happens is, the moment cost of non-conformance targets are set, everybody else is aligned. What is the priority? Okay. then you come out with a big level, high level bill of material. Bill of material would mean sub-assemblies, etc., etc. Okay, and you keep going down. So first phase, okay, will begin with the concept, end with the program approval. These specifications that you see as outputs should go in as a charter. Okay, right? Now this is what the product should do. Then we break it down into specifications and things like that, okay, which we shall cover in the next phase when we come. Okay, any questions up till now? And I hope, Tarun, your question was answered. Okay. Anybody else with any question?
Hi, good morning. It is morning over here. It is not related to the session that is being held today,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately, I did attend it only the last half part
Okay.
because I'm in UK and this particular time was not communicated yesterday. It was
Okay.
today in the 5 a.m. in the morning. I literally did not had time to go ahead with my email and understand where exactly and when this session was.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just help in getting that email a day earlier so that I can
Mm-hmm.
check it before sleeping and I can attend that session as per the time that
Okay.
is given, please.
Thank you. That can be done. Okay, and
Thank
we can. I think if is so, if it's morning for you, it is practically evening here because I'm doing this session from Japan.
Exactly.
Anyway,
No,
anyway,
I'm okay. It
it's
is
okay.
like I will adjust with whatever timing
Ha
you
ha.
would be
No,
providing.
Shikha,
Just
Shikha, there.
let me know a day before.
Yes, yes. So I think what we will try and do, if this timing is suiting for most of you, okay,
Yeah.
we'll keep it. We'll keep it the same time next Sunday also.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Just let me
done.
know
ठीक
the
है.
email being
Yeah,
provided in a timely manner. That's all.
yeah. We will do
Nothing.
that. Anything else?
Ma'am,
Anything? Huh.
a query regarding the announcement regarding this session is always uploaded on the Swayam platform. So if you have so if you're enrolled for the APQP course, an announcement for each of these sessions will be uploaded a day prior, a day or 2 days prior to the session.
Yeah, yeah. Just Prapti, what I think one could do is, okay,
Yes.
you give an early, you can say, announcement.
Announcement. Yes, sir.
Okay, and if there is no reconfirmation, that means the session is happening.
Sure, sir.
Okay, because let us say if somebody has to check up, before going to sleep, if you have to check that you have to get up tomorrow
Yes, sir.
morning 4 o'clock or not. Okay.
Right, sir.
हाँ, so ठीक है. Instead of a
Sure,
day,
sir.
make it 2 days. Okay, so that this
Sure, sir.
whole time horizon is taken care of. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Thank you, Shikha.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Great.
Prabhu. Thank you.
And I think इसके पहले तो I hope you know Hindi, but anyway,
Yes, yes, I do
most
understand.
most of it was what we call pravachan or gyan batna, but it was setting the rules of engagement only, right, and you
Yeah,
can
okay.
have access to the recording. Okay.
Okay, sure.
ठीक है.
Yes, yes, I did got it from chat
चलो.
message. Thank you.
ठीक है.
Thank you so much.
And may I ask you, what is your intent, or why did you join this course?
So at the moment, I'm working in Airbus. I am in manufacturing part of it.
Hmm.
So the intent of this APQP session is I am getting trained, like I'm going ahead with the specialty
Hmm.
of
Okay.
APQP, and most probably I would be going ahead with the championship of APQP. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to do something that related to APQP and then going appearing for the examination of Airbus.
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. So oh, okay. ठीक है. Thank you for letting us know, because what I'm now realizing is, uh, 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 you know, when this course was designed, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't designed for, bringing out the essential differences. Okay, it was
Mm-hmm.
designed more in the Indian way, okay,
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
taking people through what I call the knowledge and understanding part of it. Okay,
Okay.
but you are in the aviation industry. Aviation industry doesn't care a damn about knowledge and understanding. It is more interested in the ability of you to do it, because it is
Yeah.
aviation industry self-certification.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
And there's nothing called third. So it does add a different dimension. But yes, so you will have to understand, develop an ability. Okay. Knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
understanding, hope so we are able to develop for you, but online cannot do much. But I hope you know that you'll have to use this ability so that you can use the knowledge and understanding. Okay, chalo, good.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you, and I
No
hope it is useful to you. And
For sure.
for that matter, then you're lucky. Then I'm only eating off eaten, so it's okay.
I do have a vendor as Ethan, so I'm
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
care
no,
of him
I
as a
can.
supplier. So
So you are which part of the is the cockpit part being so
no, no,
what
I'm taking care of wings where
wings?
there
Okay,
are
okay.
Eaton
So
components, and then I'm taking care of wheels and brake in landing gear,
oh my God.
where Saffron and Collins are the when
Uh,
suppliers.
uh,
Then I have got Honeywell as well, which is again a
yeah,
supplier. So yes,
okay.
there are a few.
Good. That's nice. Good to hear that. Okay. And it sounds very interesting, and I hope so. Boeing is also
Absolutely.
doing something about it.
Absolutely. That's
Anyway,
my thing as well.
uh, chalo. Any other question anybody has? Thank you so much, and I hope. Don't worry, Shikha. It's noted. Prapti is one hell of an efficient person. Huh?
Absolutely, she is. Yeah.
If they were not people like her, then people like me wouldn't be looking good. They make me look good. They make me look efficient, not good. Actually, the correct word is yeah. Okay. Anybody else with any question?
I would. This is Puneet here.
Yeah,
I
Puneet,
would
go
just
ahead.
like to, if there are a few books that you could recommend, so I could like look into the medical devices where this
Ah,
fundamental may
okay.
be explained.
Ah. So, okay. So first thing for you is you are going to use the tool of APQP and PPAP, okay, for medical devices first.
Yes.
Okay. The structure will remain same, more or less. Okay. You would need to then modify these layouts of formats so that it suits your industry. Now, medical devices, are these one of those electronic thermometers or electronic pressure, what do you call blood pressure reading devices? What are they?
No, I am talking about class 3 devices. I could be more specific. We deal
Yeah.
into stent, heart valves.
Okay. Okay. So this would naturally turn out to be from the APQP point. So what you would need to do is you pick up what would I say? Yeah, I'll tell you. So you can go to the AIAG website,
Yes.
Automotive Industry Action Group.
Yes.
Okay. When you go to that group, okay, you will find, okay, they have modified a few applications for aviation and other aspects. Okay. Then what you will do is you will then have to use your standards of medical devices. Okay. I think there's a standard come out, right, in India where you can get your medical devices certified.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think QCI has done some work on it. You will use that, okay? And then use your knowledge to marry both of them. Clear?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
So,
QCI has a course on medical devices, 15 ISO 15189. So,
okay.
Puneet sir, if you're interested, you can visit our website,
Okay.
equest.co.in, and yeah.
Okay. Then what you can do after that is once you know both of it, okay, you can then come into a discussion, okay, to clarify your doubt, or for that matter, if you want input, you can do that, and that is how you can use APQP. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
I will never ever give you a ready-made recipe. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You need to experiment, you need to work along with it, then only you will know why. And once you know why, then you are on the path of improvement. Getting it? Know
Yes.
how. Know how is the problem. Know why is the solution. Okay? So
Yes.
it will not be very tough, don't worry, because the improvement doesn't begin in a big thud. It is always incremental. So once you begin, and if you're not getting the end results, okay, you would know which part to modify. And usually these are much simpler parts. Don't worry. Yes. Anybody else?
You mentioned a book on Kaizen earlier at the start of the. Can you write the name of the book in the chat, please?
Actually, I will write the name of the guy you should be chasing, not the not the book. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm using actually his my relationship with him is very funny. When I first joined on the first day of my job, okay, I saw this guy. I said, "What the hell is it?" And it's so crazy that I should read every day for 2 hours and sleep for 2 hours. In the first job only. And this is how damaged I was by reading his book then. Okay, I didn't understand at time, but there's something right inside it. It was not resonating. 25 years later, when people started bombarding me of, oh, this is right, then this is right, he writes like this, then I went on to the hunt to find out who's right, who's wrong. Okay. So, and when I started reading, I said, my thought process started developing. And then somebody tells me, you know what, you sometimes think like this man. And I went back, I said, oh, this was the guy who put me to sleep 25 years ago. And since then, I've realized that he is the most systematic industrial engineer. Okay. So you have access to it. His books are a bit rarely found in India. So one has to import it from outside. But now his other low end is available. But he wrote most of it in Japanese, so it's translation. But go and read first. First book I would recommend for you to read is you read Single Minute Exchange of Dice. Okay. It is a mindset. Okay. And then from there you'll transition into Pokayoke devices, what it means, and he's got a very clear understanding. Okay. And this will lead you to the next step. Then follow my analogy of the car. Park your car, you can see 60 meters. When you reach the 60 meters, you'll see another 60 meters. But begin with a mindset conditioning. Okay. Chalo. If it's all done, we can close and wrap up the session. There were many people who didn't get chance to maybe interact, but I think we will develop along the ways much better interactions. Okay. Chalo. Thank you so much for coming. And Prapti, if you have any closing remarks, comments, that will be enough.
Yes, I just like to formally then conclude the session. First of all, thank you, sir, for delivering such a wonderful training on APQP, sir. I had also learned a little bit by proxy, like you uploading the course and all. So phase one and all, this was also a new thing for me as well. So understanding it in detail, sir. So thank you for sharing your knowledge and helping the participants get an in-depth understanding on the topics discussed today. I would also like to thank the participants who have made the session more interactive. We hope today's session has helped address any queries that you may have had regarding week 1 and week 2 content. And it truly made the session more engaging. And just as a PSA, this is a weekly thing. We have 6 weeks in the APQP course curriculum, that the 6 weeks that this course will go on. And each weekend we will have this course at the same time, as Shishi sir had already mentioned, and we'll announce accordingly. So we hope to see you next week as well, sir. And on behalf of QCI, thank you.
Prapti, just one thing. Let's hear one of the participants. Okay. Anybody?
Yes,
Anybody would
now
like to?
any queries or any comments from the participants?
Any comments from the participants?
It was really a good session because mainly of the opportunity to interact and that is really good. Good way of learning, in my opinion, I think. And also some practical insights that you share now and then. That's also really useful. It was a good session. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Rahul. Anybody else would like to add towards some what we call as end of the session feedback?
Yes,
Hello.
just
Yes.
I was
Hi.
not available for whole of the session.
Hmm.
Sorry if anybody is going ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead, Shikha. Please go ahead.
Okay. Although I was not available for whole of the session, but I know what APQP phases are and how to proceed with it.
Okay.
So I know what part I have gone through with the training with you. So thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Shikha. Okay. I think that was two voices.
Yeah. Should I continue?
Yeah.
Kunal this side.
Yeah, Kunal, please.
Yeah. It was a very, very great session.
Mhm.
I think after my ISI Delhi's classes, I am getting such a good uh, which you are sharing was not only with the book but also with gives a challenge, and when you are being solved very easily.
Kunal,
Hello?
Kunal, your connection seems to be unstable. Okay, so could you repeat the last part?
Yeah, it was a great. I think from the ISI Delhi classes, I got such a great session with anybody.
Oh, thank you so much, Prapti. That is good for you. But I'm so
Yes,
happy
sir.
you could say this because Kunal, from my point of view or from our point of view, the whole attempt was that something has already been delivered in a particular way. How can we deliver it from a different dimension? Okay, it will just add to the participants, enriching their point of view. Thank you so much for using those words.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
I think from my side, I would like to thank all the participants for making it here and especially on, let us say, a short notice. But thank you for being here. Like you all have made this effort to come here, I also feel good that I made your time here worth it. Okay, chalo, thank you so much and see you all next week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
okay,
you so
bye.
much, sir.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Thank you.